Hey guys, welcome back. I am really sick right now, so excuse me if I sound stuffed because I am. But I just thought I would bring to you my planned FAEbruary, Once Upon a FAEbruary TBR. So this is a readathon held by Tales and Treats with Tay, Paperbacks and Ponytails, Celestia, The Writing Songbird, Cat Stories, and Christy A. Cole. I will leave all of them linked down below. It's basically a month-long readathon where the prompts are inspired by everything fairy tales, but you don't have to read fairy tales to fulfill the prompts. So, I like that they have like kind of a tier for at the end of the month to see how you did and how you rank, I guess, at the end of the month. So if you complete one prompt, you're a pixie. If you complete 7 prompts, you're a princess or a prince. And if you complete 12 prompts, you are a fairy godmother or fairy godfather. So the first prompt is red on the cover. Now, I took a while to figure out what I wanted to read. I'm trying to be better about reading books I actually want to read and not putting them off. Like, I feel like I want to save the best for last kind of thing, but like, what's the last? I don't know how long I'm gonna live, right? That's morbid, but you know what I mean? Like, why am I saving the books I think I'm gonna really, really love for later when I don't know what later is? So I'm going with Dauntless by Dina Sleeman, whatever. This has red on the cover from her outfit, so here we go. The next prompt is gender flipped retelling. And again, it's going to be Dauntless because I believe this is a bit of a Robin Hood gender bend retelling. So the next prompt is a male main character, and for that one I have picked The Flight Network by J.S. Thomas. This is actually a sci-fi dystopian alternate reality, but the story came from the COVID-19 pandemic. So this is 5 decades in the future where COVID-19 has morphed and is something entirely different. So we'll see. But anyway, the prompt, this one follows Noah Teslo, so male main character. The next prompt is a notorious villain, and I thought it was kind of interesting. I made sure, like, so you want notorious, that the villain needs to be somebody that's well known, right? You can't just have like a random villain that no one's ever heard of, this author just invented. That's not really notorious. But I'm going with Flight Network because I feel like COVID-19 is a pretty notorious villain. Am I right? I mean, invaded the entire world. So the next one is magical creature, which I don't really know. It's hard to know like content of books before you've read them. So I've picked Trackers by Catherine Mackle. It does say in the back blurb, it says magical creature. It says they've successfully battled sorcerers, warlords, and armies of mutants. I'm gonna go with those are magical creatures, and or might have magical creatures along with them, right? I don't know. We're gonna count it. The next prompt is last to read a book. So a book that you feel like everyone has read except for you. So for me, it's actually going to be A Child's Garden of Verses, which is a collection of scripture, prayers, and poems from Robert Louis Stevenson. I just feel like he's a classic, very well-known author, and I see this particular book, not necessarily the Thomas Kincaid edition, but A Child's Garden of Verse. I see this book at the thrift store all the time, which leads me to believe a lot of people have read it. So I'm going with this. The next prompt is a lesser known retelling. Okay, so for this one, I scoured through all of my audiobooks because I realized that I don't really own a ton of retellings that I haven't read yet and that are unknown, or else I own them and I just don't know that they're a retelling, which could very well be. So I'm got 3 on audiobook that I found that will be contenders. I'm not sure which of the 3 I will end up getting my hands on, but these are the 3. A Captive of Wing and Feather by Melanie Sellier, which is a Swan Lake retelling, and I've heard of some books being Swan Lake retellings, but I've never read any, I don't think, unless one of Melanie Dickerson's have been. I'm not really sure. I don't even know what the Swan Lake original fairy tale is, so. Another one is House of Roots and Ruin, which is book 2 in a duology by Erin A. Craig. I've read book 1, which was the 12 Dancing Princesses retelling, but this book is apparently more pulled from The Island of Dr. Moreau, which I own, but I haven't read it yet, so I don't know this story. And I did double check on the prompts that the ladies from the readathon have put on. It doesn't say a fairy tale retelling, it just says a lesser known retelling. So I feel like Island of Dr. Moreau, it's not a fairy tale, but this would be a retelling, right? Okay. And the third one is Voyage by Camille Peters, which is a King Thrushbeard retelling. Never heard of King Thrushbeard, so I don't even know what the story is. Therefore, I feel like it's lesser known. So those are going to be my 3 options for that prompt. The next prompt is an animal integral to the plot. So we are going back to trackers for this one. It does have an animal on the cover, but it's not just a flippant animal, right? It has to be integral to the plot. So I looked on the back and it does say, so this group of people are on a mission preserving God's original creation from human depravity. They've roamed the earth tracking original species. So I feel like if they're tracking original species with an intent to like preserve God's creation, I feel like animals are a pretty integral part of the story. One might assume that there's a specific wolf significant to the story, but I don't really know. I think it works. I think it works. We're gonna say it works. The next one is a book that incorporates music or singing. I did not find one to actually fit this one, but we're gonna stretch it a bit because I feel like poetry is music without the music, right? Does that work? Like, music is poetry to, like, instruments or whatever, right? Poetry, music, they're like 2 sides of a coin, right? Tell me I'm right, okay? So we're gonna use this one. Then we've got Girl with Long Hair. So I am actually going to read The Cloak of Scarlet, which is the newest Melanie Dickerson book in the Daracot Tales. Actually, in February, she's releasing the next one, but up to date, this is the most current book. And on the cover, I mean, her hair is up the same as in some of the ones that I talked to, like Camille Peters or Melanie Sellier. Those covers, their hair is up in like a little messy bun, so it's kind of hard to tell if they have long hair. And then we've got this girl. Her hair is like shoulder length. It's curly, so I guess maybe if you straighten it, it'd be longer. I don't know, guys. So we're just gonna say Cloak of Scarlet by Melanie Dickerson. The next prompt is On a Quest, and I mean everything that I read to you just now about trackers, they're on a quest. So that one's good to go, I think. And the last one is a short book. So for this one, I'm going to pick The Tale of 3 Trees, a traditional folk tale retold by Angela Elwell Hunt. So I felt like it was fitting because it's like a folk tale, and we're talking about fairy tales. I know they're not the same, but you know what I mean. And so this could have also worked for the one I feel like lots of people have read, but I have never. But anyway, we're gonna read this one. I've never read it before. I don't know anything about it, but it's very, very short. I will tell you how many pages because it's short. Oh, it's so short that the pages aren't numbered, so, you know, it works. So these are the books that will fulfill, hopefully, all 12 prompts so I can become a fairy godmother. So these are them. I'm looking forward to it. I think it is doable. All of these three, I have to read with my eyeballs. And you guys know I'm a slow reader. I mean, these two as well, but these are going to be fast and easy. So I'm actually not getting too many audiobooks, just the Melanie Dickerson book and the other one that I'm not sure yet which one I'm going to go with. Those are the only 2 audiobooks I'm getting from this. So 3 read with my eyeballs books. It's going to be a trick. So wish me luck. Let me know if you guys have read any of these. I really like to pick obscure books sometimes. I don't know, because I feel like they need a chance and I haven't heard anyone try them. So, I mean, I have heard a little bit of Dauntless and I have heard of like these two, but whatever. I'm sick and I'm talking nonsense at this point. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you're participating in FAEbruary and what you're gonna read. I will see you in the next video. Bye.